Hey, this is Tony Kozina, and I'm drinking at Moe's. Join us.
This is Drinkin at Moe's, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Moe's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Moe's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' Mo's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code drinkinatmos, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody, welcome Drinkin' at Mo's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. As of this recording, we are just 7 shy away from the next milestone of 400 subscribers, right before the 300th episode of Drinkin' at Mo's airs. So all the help there with that pain in the butt algorithm. We're on the audio platforms too, most of the major ones. Today, I'm excited to have with me Tony Kozina. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you, sir?
Oh, I can't complain. Like I said, 300th episode as of this recording airs tomorrow with a cheeseburger, so I'm happy about that. And then the day after that, I'm going to a show for Sammy Callahan's promotion Revolver. So
yes.
very happy about that. Always a good time. Got lots of friends that I've made through that promotion, so definitely enjoying that. And as of yesterday, it's 3 weeks until my wife is supposed to be getting induced and we have our little baby boy. So I'm all in all, big month.
3 weeks, you're looking at a Christmas or New Year's baby, huh?
Oh yeah, we're supposedly going in Christmas night.
Oh, all right.
No, yeah. I'm excited. It's becoming very real right now. I'll just say that.
Well, that'll be an exciting holiday for you both, eh?
So yeah, that would definitely be true. But first thing I like to start off with everybody with is what got you started as a fan, and then what got you deciding to make the leap into the business?
Well, what got me started as a fan is my dad, when he was around, and was just a wrestling fan, and that was what we did Saturday night. You know, I'd scooch on up to Dad, and we'd watch Portland wrestling. And, back then, everybody watched it. My dad's family was big wrestling fans, and my mom's side of the family, everybody lived nearby. They were casual fans, but they knew everybody because it was almost like household, they were local celebrities,
Yeah.
So there was wrestling always going on. And, you get into grade school or whatever, and it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I thought, I want to wrestle. What the hell?
Yeah.
Be a bricklayer or a dentist? No, I just want to get up there and be one of the tough guys in the ring. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
That in short, that's what it was for me,
Oh, yeah. No, I know for me growing up, I was pretty much the only one in my family that like stayed with being a fan. I know
Oh yeah.
I kind of got my little brother into it for a little bit, but I still remember my favorite Christmas gift I ever got as a kid was tickets to my first ever WWF show, and it was like maybe not even 10 rows from the ring, a few seats over from the entrance. And I'm this little third grader seeing, I literally had Yokozuna walking by me, and I'm this little third grader, like, I think I need to check my pants.
Right? It's just like especially when you're that little, it's just like they're bigger than life. I mean, he was big guy to begin with, but still, when you're little, everything is just gigantor.
Oh, yeah.
So
That was so much fun. I actually got to meet one of the people that was on that very show like a year or so ago when I met Rikishi when he was at on that show part of the Head Shrinkers, and I got a Head Shrinker Fight 2 figure signed by him. So that was pretty cool little moment for me getting to tell him the story about him being in that first show.
yeah,
And you talk about Portland, and you've been doing a lot, West Coast, whether it be up in Canada or anywhere along the West Coast. I've seen some stops in my old neck of the woods out in Southern California. I know I saw some stops for some of the earlier PWG days. What was I've heard some people talk about how much they enjoyed being on some of those earlier shows, and hell, even now, really. But what was it like for you, your personal experience there with the PWG?
well, I was on the first two shows. Their first two shows was a double show.
I was going to say, yeah.
And, and it was just everybody was excited. It was just kind of.
Oh man, you gotta love technology, but hey, we got it figured out. So again, we were talking about the early PWG days, and there's that excitement that it's still around when you hear the buzz around. Oh, another PWG. That words are hard. When you hear another PWG show is going to be happening, that creates a lot of buzz.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I'm so out of the loop in North America because I've been in New Zealand the last 6 years.
I was going to say,
I have no idea, and I don't want to sound, funny, or I'm not trying to be a smart ass or like, are they still running? But I mean, they had a hell of a following for years, and it wouldn't surprise me if PWG still did.
Oh yeah, no.
So,
when they go, it definitely creates a lot of buzz. So we're like, if you want to get tickets, you gotta like jump on it like right as soon as it happens, because those things are gonna sell out quick.
But sounds like they need a bigger venue.
Maybe. But what was it like for you? Because there's I know one match in particular that kind of jumped out to me. A lot of people will know this guy by the name he goes by now, Sami Zayn, but you had a match with him as El Generico. I believe it was Battle of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
What was those days like for you?
Well, it was fun, and wrestling him was always just easy and fun, and he's just look where he's at. There's a reason he's at where he's at. That's all, right?
Yeah.
For me personally, I was trying to regain my footing as far as in wrestling from the way I was taught and the way that everything was starting to go. Okay, that's what I mean. I was taught that if your second match, 6 minutes or 8 minutes, you're not there to steal the show. You're there still to just, what's the business of your match? Well, if I'm second match, I'm not doing all the kickouts and finishers, because that's what the semi-main and main event, the title matches are for. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting off topic like I do, but here I was a couple of years earlier. I was in an FIP, which was the sister promotion then for Ring of Honor, and that's how I was wrestling. Very, very simple. And I think that and you know what? As far as playing up a personality and charismatic and the wah, that's I never liked that, because it's not genuine for me. When I come out there to wrestle, I came out there to wrestle. Well, the fans changed and everything was shifting, and I still hadn't found myself, plus they'd put me under a mask. But anyway, by the time 2007 rolled around, I'm wrestling for Gorilla. I'm trying to, now I see that, Jesus Christ, from the first match onward, they're doing 100,000 things. And oh man, they're not even sticking half of these high spots and moves they're doing. I thought, man, you need to land everything crisp and solid, because when I was coming in, if you fumbled something up, they'd do that again and I'll knock the shit out of you. Yes, sir. Right. Yep. And so I made sure that if I was doing something, it was delivered safely and it was delivered crisp, So, because I didn't watch all the indie stuff, because, I watched all the guys that I wanted to be like. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So by the time I'm working a lot of these indies and I get my hands on these, come on, let's watch some of these DVDs. All right. And I look and I'm like, well, shit, they're going balls out from match number 1. And they're whiffing half of these high spots and nobody's getting mad. The fans are still popping for it. Okay, well, so now I'm starting to do, all right, well, then fucking let's go for it. So long story short, by the time I got to Gorilla and was wrestling Sammy and that and wrestling TJP when the match that we had, I was going fucking balls out, and they didn't like it. Well, Danny didn't like it. And hey, everybody else is doing 100,000 high spots, and I was just trying to set it up to look like things were an accident. Like I was trying to do stuff that, this looked like a botch and someone's really hurt, because it's the whole point of the fucking wrestling is to make people believe.
True. Yeah, you want to, while people might go into it thinking, I know the predetermined aspects of this and all that, but that looks like that wasn't supposed to happen.
And that's all. You get them to wonder. You get them to, if they're wondering, what's this? They start talking, they start thinking, and you got them. Jesus. So, he didn't like that. Don't ever do that again. Fuck yourself. But fuck, man, I'm opinionated and a hard head, or at least was. I like to think I'm.
Lord knows on certain subject I can definitely be the same way myself.
But I'm just trying to create something that everybody's going to glom onto. See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So
I get you there. And you brought up FIP, and then I actually had on the current FIP World Heavyweight Champion. That guy's a hell of a character. But you know what? I'm always learning new stuff, and I guess I hadn't really put the tie together between FIP and Ring of Honor, but you did have quite a handful of stuff over the years in Ring of Honor, and the storied promotion that it was still is, but I've heard some of the locker room atmosphere stories. It was a great atmosphere. Was it like?
Yes. Yeah, it was good. And look, I was just kind of there part-timey.
Yeah.
Right. But still, if you're in the back room, you're in the back room. Where I didn't need to be at every single show to tell you that, hey, man, this was a good And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure that guys, I wasn't privy to every little nook and cranny of what's going on. I'm sure guys had problems with each other, but
Oh yeah.
overall, and really good. And you
That's
need that
awesome.
when you have everybody on the same page, or so it felt. You know,
Yeah.
maybe the guys that were there full time would have a different and more accurate uh, answer for you. But
Yeah.
it felt to me like everybody was on the same page. We're going to take this damn Ring of Honor and make it amazing.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah,
I was gonna say, because I've been lucky enough to have a handful of, people that either are there now or were pretty heavy in there, from former 6-man tag champ Dutch. I had him on a while back.
Hmm.
My 300th episode that airs tomorrow as of the recording is actually with Cheeseburger. So I had, he and him, and there's been a handful of others that they've all said pretty much the same thing, that it was just a really great atmosphere to be in. When you were there, was
Yeah.
that more, I know it went, there was the ownership that started it, and then it kind of went solely to Kerry Silkin, and then Sinclair jumped in, and now Tony Khan. Were you there more when it was the Kerry Silkin era, I guess?
Yeah, Kerry had owned it, and at that time we had gotten on HD Net.
Yeah, I do remember
So,
those days. Yeah.
and I don't remember now. So I was on a few of those episodes. I don't know how many, a dozen. I don't know, 10. I don't know what made it to TV and not, but I don't know whatever happened to those. I figured they'd end up on YouTube, or someone would have them up for sale or some darn thing. But I've never seen a
You'd
lick of
think,
information on those things.
huh?
And there were
You'd
some
think they'd be up
fantastic
on.
matches on that.
Oh yeah, no, they had some great
There was
matches.
some great wrestling on those with the
Totally.
guys. A lot of those guys end up in WWE right now for over the past, 5-10
True.
years.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, geez, that'd be hot
Oh yeah.
commodity to have those
Oh yeah.
tapes.
I would like to think that maybe they. I don't know what's gonna happen with a lot of it with doing the streaming on Max with AEW right now, but I would like to think that they got Honor Club back up, so I would like to think that it would be on there. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
have
could be
no
wrong.
idea.
Yeah, I could be
Were
wrong.
were those tapings saved at all? I have no idea. But I was there for that, and then I was there when Kerry sold to Sinclair, because I was at Baltimore with Kyle and Davey and the rest of everybody when they had the big meeting, introducing and and met Joe Koff, and gee whiz,
Okay.
he just passed away. He just passed away a month or two ago, isn't that right, Joe Koff?
I wanted to say
Who
that
was
does
the
sound like I do. It sounds vaguely. I'd have to go double check, but I
I
mean,
think Cornette was talking about his
okay.
passing.
And
So, but yeah, we were there for the big meeting in Sinclair, and so yeah.
yeah, and it was funny for me, not with that particular situation with the somebody passing away, but it was more. I remember thinking this was going to be a long shot because it was one of my earlier big name episodes. But I remembered reaching out to Kerry Silkin, just thinking this is going to be a long shot, but let's see if this sticks. Let's see if I can actually get him on. And well, he confirmed with me that he would, but then it happened right around the time that Tony Khan bought it. So he was like, just don't advertise I'm going to be on before. And I'm like, hey, if that's what it takes to get you on, fine. I will do that. And I still remember the reaction that some people gave me when I told them that I indeed had recorded with him. And they were like, oh, damn. And like it was a relatively shorter one, but I'm like, hey, I gotta talk to Kerry Silken. That's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I always thought he's a good guy. Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it was an absolute pleasure, and much like the people that I've had on that worked for him, I haven't heard a bad thing about him. I've not heard one bad thing about him.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I imagine someone will say something about him or me or anybody. The longer you're around, someone's got an opinion, good or bad. But you got to go on how an individual treats you.
Oh, totally. And as far as that goes with me, when it comes to him, not a bad thing I can say about him. And Ring of Honor had the working relationship with New Japan, and you've done a handful of things with New Japan and the Fale Dojo you mentioned down in New Zealand. Man, okay, I know I've talked with damn it, the name Malcolm Flex. That was the I had him on, and he talked about his time that he spent down there. What was it like for you? Because I know when I see a guy like Badluck Fale out there, it's like you see big guys out there, and you don't think, they can do some of the things that guys like Badluck Fale can do. What was it like for you?
Oh, it was 6 years in paradise. And, I'm probably end up going back next year and just continuing on. I just, I was going back and forth, and then I arrived right before COVID. So they locked the borders, canceled all the flights, extended everybody's visas. So I was like, I'm not coming back here. Not, I knew what kind of party it was going to be back in the States. So I said, shit. And then, the visa starts to expire, and they said, hey, you're welcome back. You just got to head home. So 4.5 years of just training guys and doing wrestling every day, and just dissecting everything and trying to become a better coach every day. Better coach, helping to build New Japan Tamashi. And now, we're running Australia and New Zealand. We just had our first proper show in Auckland. We've been doing weekly shows at the dojo now since November, over a year now. And we talked about doing Auckland, but Fale, boy, he's a stickler on doing it right. He wanted to do it right or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
And but he had been running Sydney and Melbourne, and he ran Adelaide, and just getting into those markets and getting the people, fans accustomed to we're coming back, and there's a lot of independent promotions in Australia, and so there's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of promotions that just kind of pop up, and they'll run big shows, a whack of big shows, once or twice a year. And, you got to watch out because they're flying in everybody. And so you don't want to run when those cats are running, or it kind of everybody steps on the toes inadvertently. And, man, dude, I'll tell you, I learned a lot about the business end of the wrestling and the slit throat and the politicking, and all that junk isn't for me at all. Never was. Dude, I just want to wrestle. You see what I'm saying? Or I'm very thrilled to coach. But this, Fale is good, being diplomatic. And I said, bro, I mean, he's got a good head on his shoulders. So
that he does.
And now, like I said, we got Auckland. We've run Christchurch down on the South Island of New Zealand, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide. Now February 15th, maybe the 16th, I forget right offhand. We debut in Brisbane, nice. Up north a little bit in Australia. So that's going to be good stuff. And I'm thrilled that I did my part to help. You know, how big or small that is irrelevant. I did my part to help get everybody focused and the eye on the prize with all the talent that was coming over from Australia, all over the world. See?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I just hope it continues as far as me going and being a part of it. That's the whole goal always.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I kind of like the mentality that I've seen and, you know, heard from people that have gotten trained there, and well, really any New Japan affiliate, because it's like they're really at the beginning, you know, of basics, you know. It can be kind of a long haul, but hey, you definitely know that when you're done, that literally anybody that looks at where you've been trained and they see that on there, you know that you will have eyes on you from that.
Yeah. You know, looking back at everything and the feedback, good and bad, that we had from people, and reflecting on it, I remember telling Fale, I said, you know, the good and bad thing about the dojo and the way that, like, New Japan wants guys trained a certain way, and that's it. You know, they sent all the bosses over. They sent the vice president of the company over. When was that? Well, it was before the lockdown or whatever. They want to meet before they put their brand, and rightfully so, before they put that New Japan Pro Wrestling brand on anything, they want to know what's going on. Who do you have coaching and who is this guy? And, you know, the vice president at the time came over. Giotto came over a couple of times. And when Giotto came and saw what was going on, okay. And then they put cameras in there. They put cameras all throughout so they can watch the guys, because they're looking for talent. And, you know, hey, who's this guy? They report to Fale, and Fale will tell me, hey, you know, make sure that these guys are doing X, Y, and Z. The office is watching, and it's good because it keeps everybody on their toes. I started to say the good and bad thing about professional wrestling and the dojo. You know, some of the guys would freak out and leave, and, oh my God, this is like oppression or whatever. But I said to Fale, look at it this way. Here's the unique thing about professional wrestling. I said, if you're looking at any other sport, you start playing it when you're a kid, you go through high school where you're training for it 5 days a week after school, right? You say, I want to be football, rugby, whatever your sport is. You go into college with it. You're training even harder. You develop, and now you're training at a professional level. Yeah. Well, you can join, you know, Jimmy John Shabadoo's pro wrestling school, where you do 13 half-ass squats, take a fall down, and look what learn what we did in the basement at Grandma's house when I was 14, and now they say you're a pro wrestler. So then you come to the dojo, trying to shit on everything, but it kind of is what it is. Even if you're training, you know, there's plenty of schools, and I've seen them, and they're working the guys hard. But now you're going to come here under the New Japan banner, and friend, you're training at a pro level. So in short, you're not going through high school, college, learning how to train. You know, geez, I remember my friend football in high school doing 2-a-days over the summer. I'm like, are you crazy? Yeah, brother, we get up there at 8 in the morning and do that, and then come back in the afternoon. I got to sleep. I got to come back. It's like, you know, their focus was on football. So if you go further, you're used to that. Well, now you can come off the couch and just go into basically like NFL training, where I come in and for Fale do this. 500 squats. Okay, now we're going to do 200 jumping squats. They're looking at you like they, you know. And so I said, that's what are you doing? But I said, that's the double-edged sword of it all. You can't just go off the street and said, hey man, I was playing basketball at Laurelhurst Park with my buddies. We do it every 3 days, and I'm trying out for NBA, because you'll die. trying to go through one of their trainings, right? That's all. And it's the same type of thing.
Oh yeah.
So when we're getting blowback, it's because the guys want to just go out there and do the moves and don't want to actually learn it. And so I said, hey, and it's the Japanese, you learn all the greetings.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh shit! Did we? All right, we're back. So yeah, I was just gonna say with the New Japan and the Fale Dojo style, it's that definite kind of maybe old schoolish mentality with the training. But you know what? Much like what you said, how some people can just jump out there and get into the business through whatever training it might be. You know, maybe a lot more people need that old school mentality with it, so you get that basics and that solid foundation. It's
the discipline. So here's where I learned. You know, I mean, my training was they just took me down and beat the hell out of me because I was trained by old territory wrestlers, right? And that's how they learned. And that's, even though the territories were dead by 96, 97, that's what they knew.
Yeah.
And when I didn't quit, then they knew, okay, kid, you know, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You stay just as you are, you're gonna be all right. Okay, thank you. But it's the conditioning, it's the strengthening of not only your body but your mind.
Oh yeah.
And when then when you're conditioning to that degree, it becomes you versus you. And you have to be broken down and realize that you can defeat yourself. Your body's telling you no, but you force it through. And you learn who wants this and who doesn't. And here's something else. We've had guys in there, it's not this kid's a wimp or whatever. We've had guys that come in with no experience whatsoever and very shy, this kid comes in and he just sat in his room playing video games. You know what I mean? He didn't have much of a social life, and this is his first outing, and his parents are saying, go, you don't want to do this? Here, go learn something in the world. And after the initial shock, he took to it like a duck to water. And I really wish he would have stayed, because we were just going, can you believe, Seth, can you believe Frank? Holy shit, these guys have it. And, we've had guys that are they're not huge. We've had tough looking guys and big Billy Badass come in and can't hack it. So you cannot, what I learned straight away, and we would discuss this, Fale and I, over lunch or whatever, that you cannot make a judgment about somebody. You can, maybe they're not visually appealing with all the muscles and the this and that. But I said, everybody has their strength. You look at all the professional wrestlers that have been big stars. Did Jake Roberts ever have, granted, he was 6'4" and 250 pounds, but he never had a great big physique, and you can go through all of the litany list of talents that, they were this, they were small. Benoit was small. Dusty Rhodes was heavy, but if you've got the desire and you've got the fire, you can do it. So I never write anybody. Never. So yeah, but you gotta want it. You gotta want it in your soul,
definitely,
to survive the dojo. And anybody can do it. We've had 2 girls that come through, and and I'll tell you something. Stacy was 41 years old. She'd outwork half the guys. Better half her age.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying a girl did it. No, man, it's all up here. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman or whatever you.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, and you, like you said, you definitely got to want it, because I know, hell, in the times that I had with the military, like I'll tell people about stuff that happened, like when I was on deployment and I had to due to whatever the hell it was that was happening at the time. I was up for 4 days straight, not even getting to lay down. And people were telling me, oh man, I don't know if I could ever do that. And it kind of goes right along with it where like I would tell them, you never really know what you're capable of until you don't have a damn choice in the matter.
Yeah.
And
two, I don't know if I could do that. You don't want to do it. Do you want to do that?
No, I don't want to repeat it.
You know what I'm saying? Does the military, for example, have a special place in your heart?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For those that do, that type of thing is just part of the glory.
Mm-hmm.
For someone that don't want it, if I have to buzz cut my hair, get out of here. I'm not buzz cutting my hair. If you still want to do it, that's all. Wow, I know. I got one little strip of rat tail here. But it's a matter of what you want.
Oh, yeah. No, you definitely got to want it.
And it, either way is all fine.
Oh, yeah.
It goes with wrestling, all that. Yeah.
Oh, totally. All right. Now, I got 2 categories here. The first one's a bit of a name game where I name off some people. You give me some quick thoughts on them, and I try as much as possible to theme it towards the guests. So in looking through different match histories and this and that, each of these people you've shared the ring with at one time or another.
Oh, all right.
The first one, there's 2 on here that I've actually met myself. First one, he was in some of the shows for the promotion that actually got me started watching independent wrestling when I was stationed in Southern California, down in San Diego. TJ Perkins.
I love TJ, and I've known him since, well, probably when he started. In a simple couple words, exceptional talent.
Oh yeah, he was in some of my absolute favorite matches down there, including probably for some reason one of the names is escaping me, but I believe it was actually a 4-way match. But 3 of the people was TJP, B-Boy, and Scorpio Sky. And the other guy is escaping me right now. But man,
was he another SoCal guy?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
This was probably back in 2009 or 2010.
Yeah, gee, who knows?
Yeah, you know what? I could probably find the DVD because I have a bunch of the DVDs of the shows that I went to back then. So I probably end up finding it, but man, that's going to take some digging. But TJP, man, dude, like you said, exceptional talent for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even realized, how do I phrase it, all of his potential. There's still a lot of potential left on the table with him.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of the things that I would tell my students. And it's true, not just for TJ, especially for TJ, but I've never seen more potential in the wrestling world than I do right now. But what does that mean? I've had the potential to be a great drummer and probably a decent guitar player, but I pick that guitar up once every 3 days. And I'm not saying that any of these guys don't, figure things out once every 3 days. I'm just saying that, with wrestling, it's a weird thing. It's booking. It's not just all. It's not all up to you.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So because. But that's what I'm, what is the ingredient needed in today's wrestling world to get all of the potential out of all this talent. Independent, through Europe, New Zealand, Australia, all states, Canada, everything, right? You know,
I get you.
but it's just, yeah.
No.
I love TJ, boy, and I'm just so glad. I'm so glad that he's had the career that he's had. I think that he's capable and for much more.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping he gets it.
Oh yeah, me too.
So
next up, you know what? I'm gonna go with the other guy that I've actually personally met, and it was at this was a couple months ago now, but AEW finally did some show near me, just across town, a collision taping, and afterwards during the whole dark match segment, this guy was one of the guys that stuck around and took some pictures with some of the people that I was literally like 2 or 3 rows behind the announce desk. So like I was right up there. What? Kyle O'Reilly.
Ah, yes. Kyle. Man, dude, I've had some fun times with Kyle. And he's one, well, probably this, Davey Richards would have been the first one that I watched from infancy in the wrestling all the way up. And with Kyle, it was much the same when he was in ECCW in Vancouver, BC, where he's from. I had wrestled him a couple of times when I was going up there, and I wasn't going up there regularly, mind you, back in that time. But he'd hang out and talk to me and talk to Davey, and somehow we ended up. Ring of Honor did a West Coast swing. We did Vegas and San Francisco, a Friday and a Sunday, and then Saturday we all went and got booked at in SoCal. I can't even remember where, but Davey and I and Brian Danielson and whoever, TJ and Rocky, everybody was on these shows. And Davey and I were living in Seattle, so we had a couple of local guys hop in, help set the ring up, shake some hands, and Kyle was one of them. And so that's on that weekend, getting to know him and laughing. And now you're on the road, buddy. This is what we do on the road. Listen to Jerky Boys, listen to Phil Hendry, whatever, just passing the time. And then he gets a hold of me, a couple year later, because I'd moved out to St. Louis. And hey, I said, come out here. And he would come out and stay a couple of weeks and come back. And I said, listen, if you want to make it in this business, you need to come out here and stay out here. Worry about the legalities later. Let everybody else wait in line. You need to get to where you're going and worry about that shit later. I said, if you're worth your salt, other people will take care of it for you. And he's one of a few people that listened. Okay, I got to go back, but then I'm just going to drive my car across if that's the case. I said, brother, you got a place to live. You don't need to worry. You can get a job under the table with friends of ours. So you're covered. You're good as gold. Let's just get you going. And so that's what we do on our end there. And then Jim Cornette, if you ever listen to his stuff, tells the story of wow, they see the potential in Kyle. And all right, and what? You're illegal? God damn it. What the hell are we going to sign you when you're illegal? It's like, it's one of those things, because what's he going to do? He's got to learn and get in there and train with us all the time and shake the hands and try to get into Ring of Honor and all the other places to wrestle these guys. And you can't just fly yourself out from Vancouver every weekend. So it works itself out.
All right.
Yeah, man. He's again, so much potential.
Oh yeah. I'm loving what's happening for him right now in AEW, chasing after MJF, and him, and as of last night, the whole thing, him and Adam Cole going up against each other to go after MJF and get his Dynamite Diamond ring, which like the whole lead up, I'm like, I was almost suspecting that those two are going to be the two that, you know, moved on to next week. But I was like, when it finally happened, I'm like, okay, I don't mind how that happened. It was nice.
Mean, Kyle's got he's right up there with TJ. You know what I'm saying? Like so much potential, unrealized potential. And I was starting to see it come together when he was in New Japan. And I, you know, looking back, I wish he would have stayed in New Japan because that was more to me. I don't know. What the hell do I know? Yeah. He would give you the honest feedback. To me, that felt like more of his style. When you looked at his matches over there with Shibata.
No, yeah.
Did he put Shibata over there? Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And I said, brother, that's your shtick right there. Because everything we were training in St. Louis with kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, the grappling and all that, just and the thing is, and Kushida, his matches with Kushida. And I said, here's the thing. Everything you're doing is completely so different than everybody else with all the high spots and the flim flam flu. I said, and your technique is legit. And I said, that's your, you know, but you got to roll the dice.
Yeah. No, definitely.
You know,
next up, I think I have to say it this way, but stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Wow,
Gregory Helms.
Mr. Helms, I like him. He's a good guy. You know, I never crossed paths with him that much.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't look like all that much.
And on the indies, he came up when I did as far as the timeline. You know, we're probably about the same age or so. He's probably a couple years younger. But, you know, as I'm coming in to wrestling is when the internet's starting to pop off. And so now, wow, all we had was the magazines.
Yeah.
Okay, now my girlfriend at the time's like, we have the internet at my house. You should come over. And I'm like, what the hell's the internet? Well, you can find anything you want on it. And okay. And I'm like, oh, I bet there's wrestling stuff. And I'm like, holy shit. And it's like, wow, there's, you know, new, what was it? The Omega, you know, the Hardys had Omega in North Carolina. Yeah. So we learn about that. We learn about Bill Behrens, and the NWA was reforming itself. So now you look at the NWA and you had all these little indie promotions that were signing for the NWA. So, you know, Bill Behrens was one of them. And it's like, man, you learn all these different guys all around. Air Paris, AJ Styles, Shane Helms, you know, all guys all over the country. So, you know, maybe he even knew who I was from just seeing names pop off on the internet when you're doing the things. But I did get to wrestle with him at WWE.
No, yeah, him and Rosie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Actually, that's on YouTube. Now that I think of it.
You know what? It might be. I'll have to go look that one up. But all right. Last but not least for name game here, I actually just watched another match of his from me being a fan of some of the, you know, hardcore style. This guy jumps out to me. Notorious 187 Homicide.
Oh, big respect for Homicide.
Oh, love that guy.
Yeah. And again, I only crossed paths with him a time or two, but I did wrestle him on HD Net. And you know, and we went at it. And I wasn't you know, that's the we're going back talking about the back room and the respect that everybody had for each other.
Yeah.
When you have respect and the respect comes back to you and you pass it back, it only builds, I don't know how to describe it. It only builds that camaraderie. It only builds wow, this is an important and a special place. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because, Homicide at that time was established big time.
Oh yeah.
Especially out east. And am I wrong? Had he been in TNA and a bunch of stuff, and of course Ring of Honor through the years before? When did I wrestle him? 2010 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So, man, we went out there and it's on TV and just fucking fought tooth and nail. Loved it. And I just wish there was more with him, more with, all the good Sammy, more Sammy Callahan and Sami Zayn, right?
No, yeah.
More with, a lot of those guys.
Oh yeah.
So I always hold Homicide in high regard.
Oh yeah. If I had a bucket list of people that I've been lucky enough to, the bucket list of people that I wanted to have on from the very beginning. Like when I started reaching out to people from outside of my local area, like these people were on. I've been lucky enough to notch off a bunch of them. Homicide's one that I have yet to get. Who knows? Maybe one day, but yeah, no.
And here's something about Homicide, and this is my summary. What the hell? I never sat there and broke bread with the guy. People that know him, they might laugh at me or whatever. But to me, he was who he was. He wasn't some bullshit guy. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to pull a fast one. Wasn't some. You can smell a bullshitter from a mile away that try to butter you up and all that. He was just straight shooting guy.
Yep, I definitely get that impression.
And then who you're TJ, Kyle, all these cats that we're talking about, right? B-Boy.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned B-Boy, had great matches with B-Boy. That's another guy that I wish would have gone further. But, in doing the coaching for all these years where that's all I did, I had time to think and reflect. And, not everybody's just some crazy nomad like me that just live for this shit. Other people are close with their families. Other people want to have families of their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
All I ever wanted to do was wrestle, so I never understood. The hell do you mean you don't want to hit the road? Fuck do you mean you just want to, So here I am on the far fringes of just being crazy, where if I could just live on the road, I would have. And, it took some just coming down to earth to, and I don't understand why these guys don't make it. There's a lot of reasons. And hey, some of the guys just don't want to be on the road all that. They have a love for family or for other things, or they're not into it with their heart and soul, every fiber.
No, yeah.
And that's good,
Oh yeah. All right. Now I have some random questions, some wrestling related, some not, some absolutely nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far.
Very good.
First one, craziest in-match moment for you.
Craziest in-match?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It can be a little difficult, when you have a lot to choose from.
Craziest in my move. I've had rings break. Well, I was on a tour where we got clear up into northern Canada in the middle of winter, and we loaded the ring. There were 2 rings, and we loaded the ring and we loaded the ropes. We got up there and it was the wrong ropes.
Oh,
we had the ropes for the bigger ring, so tight as you could get the ropes, they were sagging.
Oh no.
There was the kid in Canada and the who was influenced by the supposed veteran that was a drug
I don't know exactly what going on, but they had cocaine in the room. And long story short, the hotel that we always stayed in said no more wrestlers. And these guys weren't even they stayed there as part of a different promotion, not my home Canadian promotion, CWE. So, but hey, you know, you've heard it said, doesn't matter. They don't look at the alphabet. They just say, "Oh, you're the wrestlers. No more. You guys do drugs." And
Yeah.
I kicked the shit out of him right in the middle of the ring in front of everybody. And let him know it too. Bring drugs into my fucking, you know, it costs everybody.
Oh yeah, that can be one of those things that, you know, one person can ruin something for the whole lot of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do. And you know what? I mean, and bless him, man. He came up and afterwards. I was at a different show later on and apologized, and we talked. And I said, man, you know, it's not like I was knuckle sandwiching him in the mouth, but you know, you give him a couple of good waffle kicks at the flat of your foot and let him know, motherfucker, don't you spoil this. It's hard to you know, and especially independent. And you have guys from out of town, and you need those when the hotel's cutting you a nice break on the price, and now they say, nah, get out of here, no more.
Yeah.
Shit. We're coming back to this city in 6 weeks. We got to scramble for another hotel, and now our 6 rooms aren't going to be the nice price. We don't even know what the hell we can get the price for, but it's going to cost more. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it was cool because we talked. He understood. He understood why I did what I did, and I said, well, you know, I was rough, but I wasn't a. But that was crazy.
Yeah, it's it. Alrighty.
And crazy shit I've seen in the back room. Jesus.
Oh God, I've heard some craziness when asking the question, including Lloyd Anoa'i telling me about a match with New Jack where they got told to be careful with the venue, and then they both proceed to go through a wall, and Paul Heyman screaming at them after the match, to the current FIP world champion telling me about him going to Puerto Rico, and everybody that knows the backstory behind this gives me interesting reaction. So I'm looking forward to seeing yours. But he told me about one time, you know, being the heel, being the bad guy. He wore a shirt out in Puerto Rico that said in English and in Spanish, "Justice for Brody."
Oy vey, mirror.
Yeah. He told
How'd that
me
go over?
Oh God. He told me that the promoter had called him, telling him that there was somebody from the crowd that said if he brings that guy back, he's not making it home.
From the crowd, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, that's a whole new level of heel heat. Holy shit.
Well, but that's not being a heel.
There's not too many people that would be willing to do something like that, though.
I mean, if I, you know, that's not, there's no art to that. If I go and I slap a 7-year-old that's wanting me to give him a high five, that's not a heel. There's no art to that. The art is in how Jake Roberts would just stop and look and know when to do something, and he would just start to smirk and turn his face, and the whole place would come unglued because they knew.
Yeah.
That's
I get your point
a fucking
there.
heel.
I can understand you there.
Because the people will pay to see someone exact revenge on Jake Roberts, but you just said it yourself. That guy's not going to pay to see Bruiser or the guy that wore the Brody shirt. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing that elicits, oh man, if I go and backhand a kid in the audience, no one's going to line up
Yeah.
to buy a ticket to see someone exact their revenge on me. Being a heel is about getting that, tapping into the emotion where it's going to sell some tickets, and that whole kind of mindset's been lost.
No, that I can understand you there.
And I get to a degree how it's lost, because guaranteed money.
I get you.
I'm getting paid whether I lay an egg in the ring or, deliver the golden goose.
I got you. All right. Now, my wife and I, we have both of these, but people lean one way or the other on it. Are you a dog or a cat person?
Well, I would be a dog. I'm allergic to cats. Cats don't do nothing.
Cats you can leave alone for a little while, and you don't really got to worry about them. But yeah, I'm more of a dog person myself. My wife and I actually have a English bulldog that he's my damn mentality. Feed him, give him water, let him outside to do his business, and he's happy as hell just napping on the couch all day. Love it. He gets the zoomies every once in a while, but I love that damn dog. All right. Now, one of my things I do like to do relaxing, putting on a favorite movie of mine. I got a list of a few of them. What would you say is a favorite movie of yours?
A favorite movie would be, one of them would be Contact, Jodie Foster.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like sci-fi, but stuff that's kind of based in reality-ish.
Okay, I get you. Something that sounds like it could be a little more realistic, but still sci-fi.
Well, I mean, yeah, because we don't have the ability to do all that jazz, but that would most likely, with an alien, they would communicate to us through mathematics, or so it would seem.
Man, it's been a while since I've seen that one. I know for me, three of my favorites that jump right out to me. Forrest Gump, that's one of them.
Yes.
I've seen it so many times that I have been to. Wife must be home, but I've been to a handful of the Bubba Gump restaurants, and the servers will ask you trivia questions about the movie. I can answer their questions before they're done even asking them. And we actually went to the one at the Mall of America, and me being a Dr. Pepper fiend, my wife found in the gift shop a Bubba Gump Dr. Pepper shot glass.
Must have had me about 15 Dr. Pepper.
And I'm like, I had to have it. My other two, when I was growing up, it was always pro wrestling and Ninja Turtles for me. Those are like my two things. But my favorite all time of all of the Ninja Turtle movies ever, Secret of the Ooze. The second one.
I grew up with Bugs Bunny and all that, and when Ninja Turtles came out, I was like, and then they kind of take over the well, I don't know, the morning cartoon things. I'm like,
But the thing that makes it cool personally for me with both Ninja Turtles and that movie, one, I met the voice from met the voice of Michelangelo from the original cartoon. I got something signed by him. And specifically involving that movie, the guy that did Splinter's voice in that movie, I got stuff signed by the both of them right up there.
Oh, wow.
And that was
cool. Is that your house right there with all kind of gizmos behind you and whatnot, collectibles? And stuff?
Oh yeah.
Like,
this entire top row is all signed figures from sorts of people I've met, from like Swerve and Keith Lee to Head Shrinker fought too. You talked about Kushida. I got one from him. I got, you know what? And I actually have it in order from the first one I got done, Hangman Adam Page, all the way through Danhausen.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's some of my collections back here. But yeah, up top you can't really see it, the two Ninja Turtle ones. But my other favorite movie, I think people don't really realize that looking at me that they think that I would like this movie. But Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon.
Oh, older movie.
I love that. Love that.
I never saw any Bruce Lee.
And the thing that, tying back into wrestling, the thing that gets me with, Bruce Lee is, and I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I swear I've seen it to where the condition that they said killed Bruce Lee, Shibata had that same thing happen to him and he survived it.
Oh.
And I was like, holy shit, two guys at peak physical conditioning, it killing one, but the other survived it. Kind of wild when I thought about it.
Well, and then it makes you wonder the technology they had. And when did Bruce Lee pass away? 70 or in the 70s?
It was, I wanted to say late 70s, maybe early 80s, but I was born in 83, and I know that it happened before I was born.
God, you missed growing up with all the killer music in the 80s and MTV and all that.
I mean, I did have I was born in 83, so growing up, I don't really remember a lot of that, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, those hands down my personal favorites. Now, with the name of a show like I feel like I have to have this question in here. Favorite drink, alcoholic or otherwise?
Man, you know what I like? I don't have it often. Well, non-alcoholic drink. Now that I'm back in the States, I had the Ruby Red Squirt. Damn it, that's a beautiful drink.
Oh, that, you know what? I haven't had that in a while. That is a good one.
Because they didn't have it in New Zealand. They have different drinks over there, and we talk about it. And Fale had spent a year with us in St. Louis. That's how I got to know him. New Japan sent him to us to work with on his excursion. And so, so over there they have different drinks. But I said, shit, I want to get a Ruby Red. Well, I came back here and they were hard to find. Now they're getting out a little bit, but I found one. I took a picture, sent in there, my Ruby Red. But as far as I don't have it often, but like just Bailey's, just right out on the rocks. Ooh, right in.
That's
just one sipping.
Okay. Yeah, I've asked that. I've asked this question to just about everybody, and that is one that I don't think I've heard yet.
Boom. I had an old girlfriend that was like, "We'll just have some Baileys on ice or whatever." I go, "Oh, yeah, well, I'm down." That's the stuff they would make like Spanish coffees or Irish coffees or whatever. She goes, "Yeah, no, just try it on the rocks or whatever." So we're just chilling and having them like this. Nice. But I could take it or leave it, the drinking and all that. I like a nice hazy IPA, Njpw. And of course, the girly drinks. The guy, you like the girly drinks? Yeah, so what? We're in
hey, if they taste good, who cares?
Hey, I got everybody drinking the cruisers over in New Zealand, and I forget who makes the cruisers. It's either Seagram's or what the hell's the other one?
Oh God, I'm trying to remember myself.
Not Schweppes. Who has the ice? Is that Seagram's ice? That's not. It's
Smirnoff.
Smirnoff. So it's either Smirnoff or Seagram's. I could be wrong again, but they have cruisers over there in a million different flavors, and they're brilliant.
Nice.
So we just have. So yeah. Geez, but
all right.
Yeah.
Now, last but not least for this category here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling. And I feel like we've kind of, talked about a little bit of the advice that you might have, but yeah, best advice for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
Man, be careful. I'm such a stickler on safety. Now, you know, they'll book you if you just look at it like a hobby and you're not just a diehard. I always say be careful, because if you're not just gung ho and you're not learning everything and doing it 1,000 times, you run the risk of injury and dropping someone on their head, or fumbling up and hurting yourself. And looking back through the shoes that I wear now as an old man, I see how easy it is, because I've seen so many of my contemporaries get messed up on the simplest of things. It ain't like you botched a moonsault type of thing, even though that obviously that happens. It's the simple things, man. Holy cow. Right? For example, okay, I've done these a million times, and the baseball slide, right? You shoot me into the ropes, I come at you and I say, whoom, I just slide right between your legs. Or if you're on the floor and I baseball slide right out and drill you with the drop kick while you're on the floor, okay? Well, I wasn't even at this show, but they're like, hey, man, dude, you hear what happened to brother, man? And I was like, what? And he went for the baseball slide, the drop kick out of the ring, and I don't know if he had his foot caught, and it just tore his ankle to shit.
Oh.
And I couldn't get that out of my, I've never done one. I've never done another one since.
Oh God. You just reminded me.
I just thought, can you imagine sliding and it catches and your whole body weight and it just tearing your ankle to hell?
Yeah.
And I say, just be careful. Oh my God. Because listen, it's bad enough getting a bad injury like that and you're making 6 figures, right?
Yeah.
But what if you're not making that money?
True. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of, man. I always drive it home. You got to go to work Monday morning, and so does your opponent. But man, be selfish and think of yourself. Mm-hmm. How are you going to provide for yourself when you're 28 or 38 or whatever you are, and you fumble up your doggone ankle or your knee or your back or whatever? You got to think about. That's what I think about, right? Maybe other people don't give a damn. I get it.
No, I get you there. And hell, you get that specific scenario. You actually just reminded me of, I believe, I want to say it happened on Monday Night Raw like a while back, where like Enzo Amore went and he was like going to, he got whipped up.
He snapped on the rope though.
Yeah, his head hit the rope and kind of whiplashed him back, and he was out.
Yeah. And, hey, I believe he bounced back from that. But you know what? You hit your head right. You hit your head right. Or you landed. Look at Big E.
Yeah.
He took that over the head. Was it overhead belly to belly on the floor and just didn't get all the way over or whatever? Damn it. And that guy had years left in his career with a lot of potential. And and again, bad enough because he was making great money, and now you don't. But what if he never made that money? What if he was an up and comer and he had 2 kids at home? These are the things I think about, man. Just be safe. Make sure that your person is reputable.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And that's it, man. I'm just a stickler for safety.
No, definitely. You need to be careful out there, because it's definitely one of those businesses where like literally even anything can happen out there. You guys train to kind of be as safe as you can be, but then accidents happen. Sometimes those stuff happens where like you make one wrong step and then you mess up your ankle or you get that whiplash.
It's a million different things that you wouldn't even think about.
True.
It's when you're hitting the ropes. Do you turn and look at the center of the ring a split second before you hit the ropes? Because if you don't, and you're low like here, you may know a drop kick is coming, but is his feet here or is he out further? And if you're not paying attention and he's in close, you don't know where the timing is going to be if you're not paying attention. Wham, wham, right in the face. And again, these are things I've seen happen. These are the conversations. Shit, man, I thought you were going to be, something, something. Man, you weren't where I thought. Ba, 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 ba. You need to train.
Oh, yeah.
This is professional wrestling. You a professional, like 10,000 hours, man. What the hell? I understand that you can just get in there now. But damn it, we're just seeing there's so many injuries. That doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be.
Most definitely. Now, before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't have their eyes on you and where you're at, they can go ahead and get them there.
Yeah, I'm Tony Kozina, Kozina. I'm on doggone Facebook, Instagram. I guess there's Twitter, but that's kind of dying off, eh?
Yeah, it's kind of dying off a little bit.
Yeah. At Tony Kozina, TikTok, and of course, FaleDojo.com. Hey, and if anybody's interested in Fale Dojo, we've got a holiday special. Because of the success, they made the post because of the success we had in Auckland and overseas. Giotto was in for a 2-day seminar and to look over everything again and to be at the Auckland show to look at the talent. They have is it all of December? I'm not sure. You'd have to look. Go to FaleDojo.com. They have slashed the price of the intake for a segment of time. I don't know. And it's in New Zealand dollars. So if you're in the States, it's almost half of that. I think it's $2,000 New Zealand dollars. I could be wrong. Okay. But 2,000 New Zealand is going to be about 1,200, if that, US. And that's for 3 months. That's the tuition for 3 months. And you'd be looked at by the New Japan bosses and by Fale and participating on the Tamashi, the Lion's Den shows and all that good stuff. And not only that, but just learning some culture. It's more than professional wrestling over there. You're learning culture. You're going to learn you versus you.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to learn how to defeat yourself. And when you do that, that changes everything in your life. You realize that, yeah, you know what? I can.
Oh, yeah.
And I can ... I can what? Get the job I want, finish that degree that I want to do. I can. So, and not only that, but you're living on the island, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Dude, I need to be hired by New Zealand Tourism or something like that.
You know, right? All right. Well, that is about all I have. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. It was an absolute pleasure. Best of luck out there. I know we're getting ready to wrap up 2024.
Jeez, can you believe it? Holy shit!
Oh God, yeah. And I'm gonna have an extra human in my house here soon. Best of luck out there, 2025.
Thank you, sir.
I hope it all goes well.
I'm sure it will. It always does. Ooh. See you guys.